Hello, welcome to a Kontenbase tutorial. We are going to create Writter, a Twitter clone made with Remix, a web framework for React, and Kontenbase, a backend API platform. You see, we are already authenticated here or signed in. We can see some buttons, read, home, profile, about, sign out. Let's see about page, okay, and then you can see the link to GitHub repository, and we can also access this app at writer.kontenbase.com. Okay, here we can change the color mode. We can go to home timeline. You can see all of the reads. You can also click one of the reads. Okay, then you can also click the profile from there as well. You can also go back. Okay, this is the home timeline again. You can see our profile here by clicking the profile button. You can compose new read. Let's see. Reading. Then you'll be redirected to the read, and then if you go to the home timeline again, you can see it's being readed. Okay, sign out, we can also do that. Alright, so we can also sign up for a new Writter account. Sorry, not Twitter, Writter. Sign in, you can also sign in. Okay, so here's what we are going to build. Of course, it will be very simple clone. It's not complete, but it's quite similar to Twitter here. Okay, you can also access the source code on GitHub. Okay, the README is exceptional. You can see there are a lot of information along with the guide, step by step how to build this, right, and to deploy, right. We'll be using Kontenbase, a no-code backend API platform that is quite fast and easy to use. Okay, here I'm already signed in, and then there's already the Writter project, which I already set up here. Okay, there will be a read service. We can get the reads. You can see here, right? You can check the fields. They are content, created at, and created by. Of course, we are going to use a new project here, Writter demo. To help us develop this app, I already written some guide. We need to sign in and set up a new Kontenbase project. Alright, we know how to get API URL. This is the API URL. Okay, and then we also know to get API key from the settings. This is the settings, which we can get the API key here and go back, right? And we have to create a new private read service and customize it to have content created at and created by. Alright, let's do that. Alright, reads, it's a private service. Create that. Okay, let's get the reads, which we don't have any. We can customize the fields. You see content created at and created by. Okay, let's edit this content, and this is the long text. Here we don't need the notes. We can delete the field. We need created at. We need created by. Right, we have it. If we try to post, we have content, but created at and created by should be auto-generated. Right, we need to customize the user service to have handle created at and created by, because by default here the users, it doesn't have any handle, which we really need for the Writter project. So let's set up the handle. It's a single line text. Okay, we set up the created at. Okay, we set up the created by. Okay, we have them. If we create a user from here, we can see we can set the handle. Okay, we can also register a new user here, but you see there is no handle field. It's only the default first name, last name, email, and password, right? So let's try to sign up or register a new user. Okay, let's do that. Register. This will be Kontenbase team, and the email will be team@kontenbase.com. For the password, I've set it up with Bitwarden. We just copy this, and there you have it. create a new user. Okay, we can retrieve the token. We can have the user object underscore ID, email, first name, last name, and the role. Okay, what's next? Try to sign in or log in. Let's do that. Login. Oh, it's already auto completed. Let's try to sign in. Okay, it works. If we do something wrong, it shouldn't work. Okay, invalid login, right? Okay, let's try again. Okay, nice. Test to create new read. Okay, let's go to the read service. We can create a new read. This is the first read. And you cannot authenticate as public, okay, because by default the authorization is only available for the authenticated user. So we enable this team at kontenbase.com as the authenticated user, so we can create the read. Okay, if we get the reads, we should be able to see the created read. Okay, and you see there's a created ad. Oh, we done something wrong with this. You see, create ad, not created ad. What should we do? I didn't plan for this, so let's see. We can edit this. This is created ad. Okay, and what's amazing that if we try to get again, you see that it's being renamed. Okay, so there's no need to worry about if you had a typo with the field name, so we can just change it. Okay, but the data is still the same. Okay, what's next? Get all reads. To create new read, we get the reads. All right, get one read by ID. Okay, since we already have one read here, so we can try to get one read. Okay, send. So there you have it. It's not an array, it's an object now. Okay, if we did something wrong, we shouldn't be able to find it. Okay, so we can get one read by ID. Test to delete a read. All right, let's delete the first read we've read. Okay, but okay, need to be authenticated. Nice. So if we get the reads, it's empty now. All right. Lastly, for the content base, we can check the docs here, docs at kontenbase.com, or you can access it from here, this button. There's a welcome, some introduction. We are going to have light mode and dark mode. Okay, some explanation about the alternative and features. You can see the repositories for the examples on GitHub. We can check the getting started guide. We can see what are the data types available. We can see the SDK. This is quite important for our project. We'll be using Remix as the full stack web framework that currently available for React. For the styling, you can use Chakra UI. They provide React components out of the box and quite similar to Tailwind. Let's create a Remix app as mentioned in the documentation. To getting started, we just need to run this command npx create remix latest. So let's do that. We name this Writter demo to differentiate with what we already have. We choose Vercel as the deployment target. We choose TypeScript. We don't want to run npm install yet. So let's cd into it, Writter demo. And then we can initialize Git repo. We can add this and then commit core create remix app. Then let's push it to GitHub. I already prepared the repo on GitHub. Let's copy the commands and just push. All right. Let's refresh. Okay, let's try to deploy it directly. We already have the finished Writter app, so let's create a new one. Writter demo remix. We are going to need some environment variables later. Let's deploy it for now. When deploying a remix app on Vercel, it should take about 30 seconds or so. Congratulations. Okay, we can go to the dashboard. We can visit the deployed app. Nice. This is a Remix app deployed on Vercel. Okay, what's next? We already generate the app. We initialize the local Git repo. We create a Git repo and push the repo. Now set up the env and env example. Okay, let's do that. We open this on VS Code. Set up env and example. Okay, env and env example. Okay, we are going to need some variables in session secret, Kontenbase API key, and Kontenbase API URL. Let's save that. You can also put it on the .env. We are going to add or commit the env example, but we don't need to commit this .env. It should be ignored. So that's why here we should ignore .env and the store. Okay, let's do that. Ignore the .env and the store. This is a very specific ignore for Mac. Okay, let's set the session secret. It's just Writter demo secret. For the API key, we can copy from the dashboard. It's in the settings. You can copy it here. And for the URL, it's a combination of the URL here with the API key. All right. Next, we set up the package JSON. So let's do that. For the name, we change this to Writter demo. For the description and license and scripts, description, Writter demo, license is just MIT, and then these are the default scripts: build, dev, and post install. Okay. So now make sure to install dependencies with npm install. Okay, let's do that because you see there are some warnings. You can run npm install here. Next, we start the development server with npm run dev. Now open up localhost 3000. Already prepared it? Localhost 3000, yeah. Nice. So next we install app dependencies. There are a bunch of them, so just copy this. We create a new terminal. There are .env, day.js, invariant, remix out form, Kontenbase SDK, framer motion, chakra UI, and emotion for sales in JS. Now install development dependencies. There are types, TypeScript ESLint, Prettier, and some ESLint config. Modify scripts to run dev with .env. Okay, so we have some prepared scripts. Copy those into this. Okay, the first one is post install, default remix setup, build, and then the dev. We run .env now. Okay, to run the dev, but you can also use just regular remix dev in here. You can start, you can format, you can lint and lint fix. Then we set up ESLint and Prettier config. So I already have those, so we just need to copy here. Just regular Prettier config and some bunch of ESLint. And this is the readme now. You can also change this to Writter demo. Copy favicons assets and manifest already prepared in here for the assets, the favicons, red Twitter bird. Paste it there, make sure, oh, it's not replaced yet. Let's just copy again, delete this one, put it there. All right. Now that API folder only for remix run for Sal. So you can see there's this API folder with index.js. It's only for remix for Sal. We can also just ignore this for now. Okay, so there is no warning or error. We set up Chakra UIT as config file. Okay, so to make things easier for us to handle the theme in the app, we have Chakra UI TS. Okay, so initial color mode is dark, prefer that, and some brand colors and the theme. Okay, so we copy that to here. All right, so we have the Chakra UI config file. We're going to use that later. Next up, set up types. So I already prepared the types. We have type for read and the type for user and the date and local. So let's just copy the types folder here. And then set up the components. I already prepared those components as well. You can just copy and paste for now. There are some bunch of components: anchor, color mode toggle, container, layout, link, and navigation. And as we can see here, it's using Chakra UI. Okay, so for example, anchor is a Chakra link. It's external. We also use color mode values to handle the light mode and dark mode here. And there's the color mode toggle. And there's the container, a wrapper for the Chakra UI container here. Okay. And we can also handle the navigation using remix navigate. Okay, and we can also disable or enable the back button, and we can change the heading text. For the layout, it's a container with the navigation inside. For the link, it's actually a rename for the remix link, so we can style the remix link with Chakra link, so it looks better. Okay. For the navigation, we pass a user to the props later on. Can have the logo here with the Chakra anchor as a remix link. Okay, so it doesn't look like a text link. Okay, and then there's a color mode toggle. We can also enable some stuff by checking if we have authenticated or not as a user. Now set up some utilities. We have the utils folder. We just copy it here. And we have user utils to get user handle and get username. We also have get read URL and get trim read. It's very regular utilities. Now set up the features. We have out, user, and read. Basically, they are just bunch of React components that assemble the components, right? Now set up the lib for the day.js and Kontenbase. Okay. We have some functions to handle the dates and time. We also have separated the Kontenbase client for the client side or in the browser, and then for Kontenbase server for the server-side operation. Set up services, session, and out. Okay. Services, we can copy this. The session can create a cookie session storage using Remix. Okay, and there's the name of this session, and then we also provide the secret. The out server is using remix out and remix out form to make things easier for the sign in and the sign up. Okay. We're going to implement the sign in and sign up with combination of Kontenbase SDK and manual HTTP requests, because currently the SDK cannot handle server-side call and custom request body. Because here in the sign up, we are using Kontenbase SDK for the registration, but in order to put the handle, because it's not being supported yet for the custom body request, so we are going to need to call a manual HTTP request. Now set up the remix root component. Actually, we already have the root component by default generated from the remix create remix app command. So we just need to copy this. Okay. There are a bunch of things here, but basically we have the meta function to put the meta data. We have the loader to check if we have a user or not. Then we can return the object to load it in, to the app. We have the app that use the loader data. From here, we can get the user and the env for the API key. And then we already set up the Writter component for the document, and then we put the chakra provider and the theme, and then we put the layout to contain the data from the loader. Okay, this is the document. So in Remix, we can customize the HTML document just like that. Okay, we also put the env into window in case we want to access the one of the env variable. And then there's a error boundary and cuts boundary. Okay, I will not going to be too detailed on this because it's Remix specific. Now make sure about the Remix entry client and server. Here we have the entry client that should be like this, and the server just like this. All right. Actually, it's already provided by default by Remix. Okay. Then finally, the interesting part is to assemble the features and components to the roots or the pages. All right. So first thing is index. So we have the index root here. Okay, just copy in here. Roots index. We only have one roots for now. Okay. Let's go through this for a bit. So we have the metadata, we have the loader, which we can authenticate to get the user data. Okay, then this index page use loader data. We prepare the button links, and button links authenticated. So in case we are authenticated, we are going to show these buttons instead. Okay, here we have the container or the use from the components heading. We can modify the heading text. We don't need the back button for the index page. We have the intro text, and if we are authenticated, it will show this text. And we have these button links being mapped, rendered to this, okay, depending if we already authenticated or not. So let's check this out. Wow, nice, it's done. Okay, because I already prepared the components and the features. So this is the index. But if we click the about page, obviously it's not found. All right. Okay, let's refresh. There you have it, the index page or the prepared. Next up is the about page. Pretty straightforward because this is just bunch of text content. You can just create the about root and then just paste it there. Okay, see the about page. Okay, we check the result. Nice, it's the about page. Writter is a Twitter clone made with Remix and Kontenbase, and there are some feature lists. Okay, then we can go back here. All right. Now we need sign up page, sign in page, and sign out page. We also need the home though, because after we sign up, we expect that we are going to be redirected to home. Okay, so let's copy all of them. Right. So over the sign up, here is just a meta and an action. So we are using the authenticator from Remix out with the user path strategy. We already set this up. Okay. If success, then we got to redirect it to /home. Okay. we can check on the out server. So if the form method is sign up, then we can go to process this, because in the sign up form, we go to use the transition, we get the sign up form here. Okay, and then we have this hidden input with the name underscore method with the value of sign up. So it will detect here if the form method is sign up, then we can process to register and put the or patch the handle to the user. Okay, and for the sign in, it's kind of similar. If we sign in, then if we successfully sign in, then we can go to the /home, but if we fail, then we redirect to /sign in. In the loader, if we already sign in, then we should be redirected directly to home. Okay, this kind of similar. We have in the sign in form, we have the name underscore method sign in. Okay, and then for the sign out page, okay, we have the action to authenticator logout. Okay, and redirect to index page. Okay, and then if we are we are not authenticated, so we go to the index page. Okay, very similar. Okay, we get the hidden input underscore method value channel. Although that we are not using this yet actually, because in the out server we only have this form method of sign in. Pretty simple actually, because it just login to using email and password, but in the sign up we have to use first name, last name, email, password, and the handle here. Okay, to patch the handle to the user. Okay, now let's try that. Now let's try to sign up. If we go to the sign up page, we have this form. Okay, we just use alligator as the first name and last name. We use alligator for the username. We use ellie@getter.com as the email address, and then we choose this very simple password. And then let's try to create an account. We see what will happen. Is this working yet or not? Okay, unauthorized. Maybe because we set up the env after we run the remix server here, right? So let's just restart the dev server. Okay, and let's try again. Wow, it works. There is the home timeline, but we don't have any reads yet. We can also check on the Kontenbase in the reads. What's interesting, there is a table view. Okay, you can see there is no reads, although that we already have the users now. We have Kontenbase team and alligator, or the registered. Okay, now let's do the read, because we don't have the read page yet, so it will be for not found. So let's set it up. Now let's have the new read composer from the read page. And we expect that after we read, then we get to redirect to this /user handle and /read ID. Okay, just like Twitter. Okay, so we need these three roots: read, user handle, and /read ID. Because after we read, then we get to this single read page. We can also delete an own read in there as well. So let's do that. Here we have the read root. We have the user handle root. Okay, and then we also have the $read ID root inside $user handle root. Okay, so let's copy that. Right. So to explain a bit, in the action of the read, we check if we have the user or not. We set up the headers manually to set up the authorization bearer token, because the token already provided in the user. Here, whenever we sign in, or sign up, we got to get the token and pass it in here, so we can get the user token from the user object. Okay, and then for the form, because we have the form here for the read composer, method post action read, and then we have this name content for the text area, so we can get the content by calling form.get. Okay, and then we try to request using Kontenbase API URL, not using Kontenbase SDK with API key. We try to do this here, and then the endpoint is /reads. We pass the headers. We set the method to post. We set the body to be just a content object. Okay, and then if successful, then we redirect to the user handle /read ID. Okay, let's go to the read page. Then let's reading, and then we got the read. Okay, in the single read page in here, /user handle and then /read ID. Okay, we can also delete this read because we already set up in the read ID. Here in the read card detailed component, we check that if we are the owner, okay, we can get to be able to delete this. Okay, so if we own this read, then we can delete this. All right, so you see there's the underscore method delete as well, so this will relate to this. Okay, so we own this. If it's on and the method is delete, okay, then we can delete that read. Okay, we are using a manual HTTP request again here. So let's try that. Deleting, then there you have it. The timeline is now empty. Okay, let's read again. Okay, it works. We go to the home, it works. Now for the final touch. We have the profile root just to redirect to authenticated user profile. So we copy the profile root. Okay. This just to check if we are authenticated, we have the user, then we can continue. If not, we redirect to index. If we have the handle inside the user object, then we can redirect to the /user handle, which is this root here. Okay, so let's try. We get to the profile. What will happen? There's an error. Message, please provide valid credential. This is because by default in Kontenbase, if we check the authorization for the role public, the service users, the get is not enabled by default, so we have to enable this. Okay, we can also check if we are authenticated. Well, the permission get should be enabled. If you are the admin, of course we can do everything. Okay, just to make sure about the authorization in Kontenbase. Okay, so let's refresh. Now it works. Now let's do some recap before we actually deploy this to Vercel. Let's check the index page. We have informed that we are authenticated. We have some authenticated buttons here. We can change the color mode here, light mode and dark mode. We can see the home timeline with the reads. We can click the one of the read, and then this the read page. There's also this dead time link, so permalink to the read. We can also delete the read. Okay, delete it. We can go to the profile. Currently we haven't implemented the reads by the profile, but it's fine. Let's read again. Read, redirected to the read page. You can click this. We can go to the home timeline again. This is the new one. Let's try to sign out. Okay, then let's try to sign in. Okay, alligator password, sign in. there you have it. Finally, let's commit all of these changes. Okay, this is not a best practice to actually commit all of this. This is just because this is just a quick tutorial, so it's fine. This is just for demo. So basically, feed implement Writter. Okay, let's commit and push. Okay, if we check in the actual repo though, I already made the commits properly, so there are a bunch of commits. But in here for the demo, we only have 2 commits. Not a good thing, but this is just for demo. Remember that. Okay, let's check the deployment. Alright, nice. So we have this Writter demo on Vercel app. Okay, let's close the other tabs first. Let's focus on this Writter demo. Okay, this is not writter.kontenbase.com, but writterdemo.vercel.app. So actually, we should be able to sign in with the same account because we are using the same Kontenbase project and API key. Then password, sign in. Okay, we encounter an application error. Why? Because we forgot in the Vercel project settings, environment variables haven't been set up yet. Okay, so we got no environment variables yet. So let's copy the environment variables for the session secret. Let's just close the final project, this Writter demo secret. Okay, we can also separate this. We can also change, make this different. Production, Kontenbase API key, and then Kontenbase API URL. Right, so we have the variables. So let's try to redeploy. Go to deployment. You can also redeploy. And it should be redeployed with the new environment variables we set up. Alright, it's ready. So if we refresh the app, let's try to sign in again. We should be signed in. Yeah, nice. So we successfully implement Writter demo and deploy it to Vercel with the environment variables correctly. Nice. So let's try to read again. Read again here. Nice, it works. Go to home timeline. No, it works. Okay. You can also try to delete. Redirect to the home timeline. Nice. You go to the profile. Nice. Alright. You can also go to the profile by clicking the read details, and then we click the profile here. Right. Go to index page. Nice. Try to sign out. Awesome. Alright, that's it for the tutorial. This might be not so complete to explain everything because there are a lot of things to cover. So just head over to the repo. Okay, then you can check everything from here. Alright. Let's go back to the Writter content base. Okay, so everything's the same. Thank you for watching and see you next time.